Hey guys, it's your girl Aji back at it again with another video, and of course this time I'm going to show you guys affordable makeup brushes because that's what you guys have been asking for me to do, and finally I'm going to get to it. Before we start though, I want to put in a huge disclaimer that I'm not an expert. I'm not a makeup expert. I really like makeup, but I'm in no way like a professional makeup artist. I probably don't know what I'm talking about. What I'm going to share with you guys is what I experienced with these makeup brushes and how I personally use them, as well as some tips that I've learned on how to use these brushes while I was learning how to do makeup. So yeah, that's just my disclaimer. But anyway, I have 5 makeup cups and I have the other one right there because I can't hold it anymore. Okay, so I'm first going to tell you guys about the brands that I use. My favorite is personally the maange ones. Maange, maange, whatever you want to call it, but it's this one. As you can see right there, it says maange. Personally, for beginners or for anyone who wants to look for makeup products, this is very helpful because they mostly have like really fluffy makeup brushes, and they actually have names on the brush, so you have a little bit of help when it comes to what it's for. So example, this one, it's called the large shader brush one. The next brand of makeup brush that I own is this one. It looks like this. This is by Gujhui, Gujhui. That's how the brand is spelled, and their brushes look like this. They mostly have eye makeup brushes, and don't worry, for anyone who's going to ask in the comments, I will link every single makeup brush set that I own down below. The next one that I have is this one. This is unbranded, and they also have like really reliable fluffy makeup brush. I think I got this set from Divisoria. I'm not entirely sure, but anyway, the next brand of makeup brush I have is are these. They're this like really cute diamond looking fancy packaging brush, and this is from the brand Kiki or the Shopee store Kiki. While I like this, most of their blending brushes are cut like this, like they're very much straight and they're not rounded. So I don't, for my eyes personally, I can't use a lot of their brushes because I don't know, I just find that it doesn't really blend very well. And then the next type of makeup brush that I have are these kind of brushes, the purely black ones. They're also unbranded. I also have like the random Shopee unbranded. Like they look very low quality, but they work very well. And honestly, like for makeup brushes, I'm not looking for like the too expensive makeup brushes. I think like almost all of the brushes work the same. It really just depends on how you use them. Yeah, if you like high-end makeup brushes, it's good for you, but personally I can't afford it, and I find that a lot of these like cheap maange makeup brushes work very well. So yeah, I also did buy individual makeup brushes like these ones. These were, I think this is by the brand Gujhui as well, but it doesn't exactly have a brand on the brush itself. So yeah, I also have these ones. But anyway, let's start by talking about this cup. This cup contains the makeup brushes that I use for the face. For example, this one, I use this as a powder brush. It's very big and fluffy. I just use it to kind of like brush the powder off of my face or to apply powders on the face. It's very big and it's very good for that job. And then next you will see brushes like these ones. These are foundation brushes. I think they're called stippling brushes, and they're very good for applying foundation on the face. Personally, I'm not a fan of applying foundation using brushes. I really would rather use sponges, but I do sometimes use these, and this one is also very good. Next, you will encounter these kind of brushes, and these ones are the angled shading brush, and this one I use for contour. Because it's very nice. It fits into the cheekbone properly, so when you brush it like that, it's going to dispense the pigment of the contour properly. It kind of applies it just in the exact shape that you need. Next are these kind of brushes, and these are mostly round. A lot of people use these kinds of brushes for blush, and I used to use these kinds of brushes for blush as well. But I find that for bronzer it also works very well, because bronzer you do want them to be a little more spread out on your face to really give you that warmth. I find that it's been very easy to get that like really warm bronze look using this kind of brush. Of course, some of you guys may be familiar with this, but I also have like fan brushes, from small ones to like very big fluffy ones. A lot of people use this for highlight. I don't really like that. Anyway, the next kind or category of makeup brushes that you will find everywhere are the packing brushes. And packing brushes usually look like this. They're not fluffy. Sometimes they're angled, sometimes they're not. These are the different packing brushes that I have. Kind of like that. And what you use these brushes for is usually to apply shimmer or to like really get detail. And sometimes I do notice that a lot of people use these like really thick and flat packing brushes to apply eyeshadow, and then use a blending brush to blend it out. Like the name, packing brushes, you use this to apply powder or to pack on pigment. They're not necessarily going to be good for blending because they won't give you that smooth transition from color to color. So we're going to compare this to a blending brush later in terms of their blendability. But next, yeah, I'm going to move on to blending brushes. And blending brushes all typically look the same. The most common kind of blending brush that you will find are the ones that look like this. They're very round, they look very, very fluffy, and they're very good for, like the name suggests, blending. These are my favorite kind of brushes because I normally just really use blending brush to apply my eyeshadow. I don't need packing brushes or whatever unless I do detailed looks. But honestly, as someone who does more soft, like soft glam looks, these are all the brushes that I need. They do vary in size and shape as well, but they're all very much fluffy. As you can see, like this one, this is an angled blending brush. This one is a big fluffy brush. This is kind of like a shaped blending brush. It kind of has an angle to it. You will also find some blending brushes that are more compact, like they don't look as fluffed out, like this one, but they're not exactly in the shape of a packing brush either. Do you get what I mean? I'm really bad at explaining, but anyway, to show you guys the difference of a packing brush and a blending brush, I'm going to use the back of my hand to show you an example. So I'm going to take a red shade. But the thing is with packing brushes, if I try to blend it like this, it's going to be very messy because it's going to apply the color on very thick before you can actually blend it out. That's the kind of performance that you will receive out of packing brushes. Meanwhile, for blending brushes, let's say like this one, if I take the same shade and apply it horizontally, it will apply much more here because of the structure of the brush. Like, it's not entirely even. It's less opaque, but as you can see, compared to the packing brush, the edges of this compared to this one looks a lot more feathered out. I don't know if you can notice. Let's say I want to blend a color out. So if I do that and just lighten the pressure a little bit as I go up, it's going to be better for the job because as you can see, there is a gradient from color to no color and the blend is very smooth. So that's what blending brushes are for. Most people that I know do it like this. They apply the color on and then they go back in with a fluffy brush to kind of blend the edges out. That's normally what I see from a lot of professional makeup artists. Of course, I did a horrible job on my hand, but you get the idea. yeah, those are a lot of blending brushes. Aside from those kinds of makeup brushes, you will also see some weirdly shaped brushes like this one. And for beginners or for those who are just starting to play around with makeup brushes, you might be confused as to what this is. And I believe what they call this is a pencil style brush, where it's kind of straight but then the tip is very much like a dome. And what I think this is best for is to darken up the outer corners of your eyes, especially if you have eyes like mine. This makes it very easy to apply it in a very precise shape, and it still kind of properly blends it out, especially if you use this kind of slanted tip right here. Very good. With all makeup brush set that you can find online, you will find like really tiny and really small brushes like these ones. This is an angled packing brush, but a very small one. And what I like to call these are detail brushes, because they are very good for like small touch-ups, small details. Like for example, if I want to sharpen up a cut crease, this is the kind of brush that I will go to, because it makes it very easy to just, you know, it makes it very easy to apply precise and sharp lines. As compared to if you use a brush like this, where the tip is kind of like thick. If I try to do the same, I will get a much thicker line that's going to be harder to clean up. I don't know if you can see that difference, but this one is sharp and thin. This one, not very much. Actually, all of the makeup brushes that I own are probably from brush sets. None of the sets that I own cost more than 800 pesos. I believe the most expensive one I got for 600, but is now retailing for like 500 or 400 pesos. And it's this kind of makeup brush set. I think I got the 32-piece one. And it comes with these like brushes for the face, as well as packing brushes. They don't really have like blending brushes in that set. So what I did was go to Maange for the blending brushes, and then my collection grew and grew and grew. I would recommend that you try and save up for the Maange brushes, because they're super high quality. The brushes are very soft, and I also would recommend going for individual face brushes like this one. I got this for 50 pesos, I think. I don't know how to explain my makeup brushes to you guys, other than to explain their purpose. Also, you don't really have to restrict yourself, because I'm probably using a lot of them wrong. Like this is supposed to be a blending brush for the eyes, I think, but because of its shape, I figured out that it would be good to use for the size of the nose, because it's so precise but still very fluffy, so it won't leave like really harsh lines on the sides of the nose. So now I use it for contouring. So yeah, that's it for like a very mini lesson on what makeup brushes to get and what those makeup brushes are used for. You probably did not find this tutorial helpful, but if you did, I guess give it a like. And if you like me, make sure to follow me on all of my social medias. And if you want to keep seeing content like this, then consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. If you do have additional questions, I would gladly answer them. Just leave them in the comments down below and I'll make sure to check it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!